How did you guys do it?
We got cleaners.
Cleaners?
You know it, Dad.
Cleaner, it works.
Coming up next on Plus TV, Plus News. Join our news team for half hour of local and national news. Plus News, informative, balanced, accurate, and current.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Charbroil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's. Biologically in every alley we have picture when I got to everybody. So when we face God, you know something. We're not thinking of the low but the right.
Spice up your next event with professional lighting. Call 610-5679 and give your audience an experience they'll never forget. Proper stage lighting ensures stage visibility, motivates and sets the mood of the atmosphere. We provide services for weddings, concerts, parties, dance recitals, and much more. Captivate your audience. Improve your production today. Call Shamax Productions at 610-5679 for quality and professional stage lighting.
I can't feel the state and burn up my bear.
In the headlines for tonight's newscast, a 15-year-old student was gunned down in Gardenia Village. 2 killed in Stan Creek Road traffic accident. The medical community hosts Justice for Bonilla rally following doctor's murder in Belmopan. Commander of Belize Coast Guard targeted in threat and assault incident. Former UDP Chairman Alberto August detained and charged for cyberbullying. And we tell you about a non-profit organization dedicated to saving stray animals in Belmopan. These stories coming up next on Plus News. Stay tuned.
This newscast is brought to you through the courtesy of Builders Hardware, your home improvement warehouse.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Welcome to Plus News for today, Monday, June 1st. I am Nevia Ramos. 15-year-old Rakeem Armstrong and 18-year-old Justin Young were both victims of a shooting that occurred last night in Gardenia Village, Belize District. After being rushed to the KHMH, Armstrong succumbed to his injuries. According to police, Armstrong and Young were socializing on an unnamed street in the village when an armed male person walked up to the group and opened fire, injuring both Armstrong and Young. Police believe the shooting was as a result of an earlier dispute over a motorcycle.
Police are seeking two male persons as a consequence of an ongoing investigation into a shooting incident that resulted in the murder of 15-year-old Raheem Armstrong and the shooting injury of 18-year-old Justin Young. What we have learned so far in the course of this ongoing investigation is that both Armstrong and Young were in a group of other male persons on an unnamed street in Gardenia village when an armed male person approached the group and fired several shots, which resulted in the fatal shooting of Armstrong and the injury of Young. Preliminary investigation suggests that the motive for this incident is in relation to a dispute over a motorcycle.
Police say that they are unsure who the intended target was. Investigations into the latest murder continue. Two men, including a customs officer, lost their lives in a multi-vehicle collision on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway on Thursday night. The fatal incident occurred shortly after 8:20 p.m. near the Forestry Department between Independence Village and Punta Gorda Junction. Police investigations indicate that 26-year-old Elmer Kyle of Red Bank Village was riding a black Lee Fan 150 motorcycle when he collided with a gray and a silver Mazda Tribute being driven by 38-year-old Andy August of Independence Village. Authorities say that as August exited his vehicle and attempted to assist Kyle, a red Meloon scooter driven by 51-year-old Customs Officer Herzon Roel Cruz of Independence Village crashed into the Mazda Tribute. Cruz was also thrown onto the pavement and sustained severe head injuries.
The responding officers reported that upon their arrival, they observed two motorcycles and three vehicles, all of which showed signs of damage. The officers also observed the unresponsive bodies of 51-year-old Willie Cruz, a Belizean customs officer of Independence Village, and 26-year-old Elmer Carl, a Belizean laborer of Red Bank Village. What the preliminary investigation suggests is that there was a collision, an initial collision, between the Mazda Tribute, which was being driven by Andy August, and a motorcycle being driven by Elmer Carl. This collision caused Carl to be flung from the cycle, and it is reported that Mr. August stopped his vehicle and went out to check on Mr. Carl. While Mr. August's vehicle was stationary on the road, it is reported that Mr. Cruz, who was traveling on a motorcycle, collided into the open door of Mr. August's vehicle, which too caused him to be flung, and both of these gentlemen succumbed to the injuries that they sustained.
Police say that Andy August has been issued a notice of intended prosecution. On the 11th of May, the commander of the Belize Coast Guard, Rear Admiral Gregory Soberanis, was verbally assaulted by an armed individual. The verbal assault came just 3 weeks after Soberanis' home was shot at. Commander Soberanis was out of the country in New Orleans on official business representing Belize when gunshots were fired at his home. The attack shattered several windows, causing damage to the residence. After reporting the incident to the Belize Police Department, just 3 weeks later, Soberanis and his driver were confronted on May 11th near a park in Pearl Boom Village. According to Soberanis, the individual approached him, took photographs of both him and his vehicle, and proceeded to issue verbal threats before brandishing a firearm. In speaking with the media today, Soberanis stated that he is taking the attack very seriously and that the individual will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law.
I must say that it is something that I take very seriously. When my home is attacked, when I am approach in an aggressive manner. It is not something that I take very serious. It is something that I take very seriously. I believe, and this is something that I believe in, that there is no honor in a man who is willing to defend and fight for his country and not willing to defend and fight for his own home. I am not that man. And so whoever these perpetrators are or perpetrator is, I can assure you that this matter will be dealt with. And it, from a personal standpoint, it is not something that I intend to have slip and slide. The mission and mandate that I have as a father and a husband for the security and safety of my home is one that I take very seriously as well. And so I will ensure that every measure is taken to deal with the perpetrators who committed this heinous act and who I believe sought to by the fact of exiting a vehicle with a weapon in hand. I deem that as a serious threat, and as I mentioned before, will take every measure to deal with this matter. As relates to the individual who approached me, it's a personal matter, and so it has nothing to do with me being the commandant of the Coast Guard. But I can assure you, this matter will be dealt with.
Do you feel fearful of your life in any way?
I am trained and bred for war. I have no fear, and I will tell you directly, God has not given me the spirit of fear. And so, so suffice it to say, and I'll tell you, I'll say this, and I'm being very serious here, because anyone who approaches or attempted to approach me with a weapon in hand, I see that as a death threat, quite frankly. But I always remember a story from Karate Kid, where Mr. Miyagi was talking about a bull that terrorized the community. And one day, the community enjoyed a good bowl of beef soup. Right? So, as I said, this matter, I can assure you, will be dealt with.
Despite reports being filed by both Rear Admiral Gregory Sabaranis and his driver at the Hatfield police station, following the altercation, police have yet to make any arrests. According to Staff Officer ASP Stacy Smith, based on the statements that were received, no arrest can be made. Here is how she put it.
That the department is in possession of a number of statements in relation to an incident that occurred with Commandant Coast Guard and another individual. These statements were in police's custody and they were reviewed. However, as it stands now, the statement in and of itself do not convey elements of any arrestable offense. Whilst we do understand and appreciate the circumstance and the feeling of Commandant Coast Guard and we empathize with him, we are guided by the law and we are conducting further investigation. And the statements that we have in our custody does not in and of itself conveys an arrestable offense. That is in relation to that particular incident, but we were also made to understand that I was also made to understand that there was a previous incident that involves his residence when he was away, and that is certainly a matter that is being investigated.
Because he said that he was able to identify the man who threatened him. He reported that to Hatfield police station. Then did the commander of the Coast Guard then is not being fully honest if the police is saying that they don't have any basis for an arrest?
Offenses There are elements that are present in offenses, and those elements have to be satisfied. When a person is speaking in layman terms, they may feel certain way. However, if their feelings does not matches with what the law requires for the elements of an offense, the arrest cannot be made.
Police said that they are still investigating the shooting of the Rear Admiral's house. Police are investigating a shooting incident that left 35-year-old Johan Harder injured. According to police, Carter and two other persons were in a parked vehicle in Unitedville when they were fired upon. Police say that they are seeking two persons of interest.
Police are investigating a shooting incident that resulted in the injury of 35-year-old Joan Harder of Spanish local community, which occurred on Sunday, 31st May 2026 at around 1:30 p.m. in Unitedville Village. Harder and two other male persons were on board a vehicle which was stationary, and two male persons exited another vehicle and fired several shots, which resulted in the injury of Harder. The investigators have identified a vehicle of interest as well as a person of interest as this investigation continues.
We will be taking our first break for the evening and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad in the month of June. Visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Belize Electricity Limited is announced the holding of its 2025 annual general meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize City, Belize at 3:00 p.m. on Thursday, June 18, 2026. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification such as a social security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's executive chairman or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5:00 p.m. on June 16, 2026. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 501-227-0954, extension 1512.
In Belmopan, then I used to go do my NHI in Belize. Then I came back home in Palma, and when I found out that NHI was here, I said, right, that's the perfect thing for me. So I don't have to travel, you know. It's very affordable. That's the main point. And you don't have to wait too long. You know, sometimes you go to hospital, you have to go from the morning, whole day. But you come to the NHI at your clinic, you have access for doctors, you do your blood tests, urine tests, everything. I mean, it's very, very affordable. So if they not take the opportunity, they don't want nothing. The doctors, them, the nurses, oh my, they are so, you could question them. They give you answer to everything, and well, me, I see good result. And I have no complaint with the NHI itself. No complaint.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Belize Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2025 Annual General Meeting at the BEL Corporate Headquarters at 2.5 miles, Philip Golson Highway, Belize City, Belize, at 3 o'clock p.m. on Thursday, June 18, 2026. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification such as a Social Security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's executive chairman or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5 o'clock p.m. on June 16, 2026. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 501-227-0954, extension 1512.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad in the month of June. Visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Charbroil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
Healthcare professionals and members of the public gathered in Belmopan on Monday evening for a rally demanding justice in the murder of Dr. Nan Bonilla. Dr. Bonilla was gunned down in front of his daughter on Friday, May 29th in the Las Flores area of Belmopan. Bonilla had just left his home and was en route to drop his daughter off at school when a white SUV allegedly intercepted his vehicle. A masked gunman reportedly exited the SUV and opened fire before fleeing the area. The killing of Dr. Bonilla has sent shockwaves across Belmopan and the medical community, prompting an outpouring of grief and calls for justice. Today at 5 p.m., doctors, nurses, pharmacists, family members, and friends gathered outside the Medical Imaging Center in Belmopan, Bonilla's last place of work. The Minister of Home Affairs, Oscar Mira, made an appearance at today's rally, stating that based on the police's investigation, he is confident that justice will be served.
Has not been an easy few days. I considered Dr. Bonilla a friend of my family. And today I think that we will never, ever forget his contribution to our community. The police department and investigators are doing everything possible. And I can assure you that the investigation has gone very, very, very well. I am confident that those investigators are putting extra hours to ensure that we bring to justice those responsible for this crime. It's not easy, not for the families, not for friends, not for our community. Service to our community comes from within. And I know that Doc had that from within to serve our community. As I was briefed today on how the investigation is going, I am confident that we will, in the very near future, know and find out what really happened. I can assure you that nothing will be left unturned until we get to the bottom of this crime. This is not the Belmopan that I grew up in. This is not the Belmopan that we know. And I'm very grateful to see so many of us here this evening paying tribute to the life of Dr. Nan Bonilla.
Dr. Bonilla's wife also shared heartfelt comments thanking the Belmopan community for their continued support regarding the murder of her husband.
I just want to give thanks to everyone who is here showing support for justice for Dr. Bonilla. This is something that it's really hard. What I just think and make me feel bad and is that he took most of his life studying. He spent 14 years in this career of medicine and he just practiced almost 7 years. He was just starting. And I know that there is a lot of people that their health was on his hands. And I have met a lot of people that they just tell me, I am alive because of Dr. Bonilla. And I can't believe how this person came and take out his life that way. So I just ask for justice, and I think that we will get to know who did that to him. So I give thanks to everyone. Thanks for all the support that everyone is giving.
Over 400 persons showed up for the rally in Belmopan. At 5:45, the group began their march around the ring road before ending at the Medical Imaging Center. Former UDP Deputy Chairman Alberto August says he has no regrets over a Facebook post that landed him behind bars for the weekend. August was detained on Saturday afternoon after police arrived at his Santa Elena home, where 6 officers searched the property and confiscated electric devices. According to police, August was being investigated in connection with allegations of cyberbullying stemming from a social media post directed at Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Oscar Mira. The post came in the aftermath of the murder of well-known Belmopan Dr. Nan Bonilla and appeared to mock comments previously made by Mira following separate murders in the capital earlier this year. At that time, Mira suggested that the victims were not residents of the capital and that violence had followed them here. It was later confirmed that one of those victims was in fact from Belmopan. Minister Mira addressed the comments made by August publicly, saying he intended to pursue all legal avenues available, insisting that attacks against his name would not go unanswered. Speaking with media outlets today, August described the experience as traumatic, particularly for his family, but maintained that despite his detention over the weekend, he will continue to voice his opinion.
I am doing okay. Being in detention for that kind of period of time, it certainly has an effect on you, you know. But I consider myself to be strong. But if the intention of the minister was to humiliate me and to cause anxiety and stress for my family, he succeeded. He succeeded in doing that because the trauma that my partner went through, my friend, is unbelievable. Unbelievable what he put them through. But I have basically recovered, not fully recovered, because you know the police still has confiscated my telephones. In fact, they have confiscated everything that I have here that operates electronically, even make my clock. So we're not fully recovered yet because, like I said, I'm still, you know, like they say, they knock you up for your horse, but they carry the horse. I need the horse, my friend, because I need to continue riding. The only thing here can't stop me. It will take for bigger things than these to sort of distract me, because I'm not easily distracted. So agitating for a better living condition for the people continues to remain my focus. And I'm prepared to take whatever lick comes my way for as long as it comes, but they're not stop me from voicing the concerns of the people. In terms of this particular situation, many were concerned about the murders that is happening in this country. And now they are happening right at the doorstep of the minister with responsibility for the police. And then afterwards for him now to have that situation on his hand now. So I've come down to me, man, you know. So focus on your portfolio. That is all we're asking you to focus on your portfolio. And not be because I want to say it in a Boots Martinez's deepest voice. Politics are for big man and big woman. Politics are not for small man, thin skin small man. So grow some skin, man.
First off, do you regret making the post?
Not for a day, sir. Not even for a second. Not even for a second. And more will be made. More will be made, man, because like I said, the time when I will stop making these kind of posters is when the welfare of the people is improved.
His attorney, Michael Perfeet, criticized the detention, accusing the government of abusing its authority and raising concerns about freedom of expression and the ability to criticize public officials without fear or retaliation.
I'm trying to, since Saturday afternoon, whilst the police were at his home, that's when Alberto called me and asked me for my assistance. And when he explained to me the purpose for the police visit, 6 policemen in his house with a search warrant, looking to confiscate all his phones and all his computers or whatever electronics he may have in the house. My immediate reaction was the PUP are so drunk with their power that it has gotten to the point where not only are they abusing the public with their policies, with their corruption, with their stances on different things, we have gotten to the point where we seriously cannot even criticize these people. Alberto August was mocking Oscar Mira, Minister Oscar Mira, before I offend him and he comes for me. He was mocking him to say, I am saying this in his voice. And he says something that was kind of reflective of what they had said months ago about an incident in Belmopan. But at no time did Alberto Aga say Oscar Mira said this exactly in quotation marks. So that's a non-starter to begin with. But even so, if you feel offended by that, or you feel like somebody is putting words into your mouth, take them to civil court, sue him for defamation or something to that effect. You don't send 6 policemen, threaten the man's family, and it was not a question. You're coming with us to the police station, you're going to be locked up, you're going to be charged. And so if you look at it, it was executed with military precision. They know that the Cairo Magistrates Court doesn't usually take on new matters on Mondays. They take on new matters on Tuesdays. So they arrested him on Saturday so they could legally have him for 48 hours to Monday, then charge him, then have him legally before the magistrate on Tuesday morning, so that they would be within their time periods as to when they could have a person detained. But it was a well-planned execution. It was a hit with precision. And then
Parafit says that August intends to sue the government over his detention.
I will represent Alberto if the charge remains and proceeds in criminal court, but I can assure you that there will be civil charges against the government. Alberto will sue the government for this, and he should.
Following the reports that Alberto August was detained for his Facebook post, 3 other prominent UDP members, namely John Saldivar, Brian Lord, and Alfonso Noble, made similar posts. News director Jules Vasquez also made a similar post characterizing the statement as political satire, not cyberbullying, as was the charge brought against August. Today, the police department was asked if they will be bringing charges against the other persons who posted similar messages. ASP Stacey Smith says that Oscar Mira would have to make a report for each of the incidents.
Will there be charges brought against other persons, or are other persons being investigated for the same cybercrime offense?
I am not aware that any additional report was made, and a report would need to be made before an investigation is carried out. So that is the position on that.
So Mr. Mira, who is the complainant, would have to make a complaint in every instance against these persons, isn't it? He made a complaint about what offended him. I would think the cybercrime unit, in its eternal vigilance, would see that other persons are making the same post and know that it has caused the minister, as he attested, ridicule and embarrassment.
You stated that it has caused the minister ridicule and embarrassment. It is for him to put that in a statement. It is not for the police officers to assume. Yes, you can go by analogy that if the circumstances are the same and the same words are stated, that it can be assumed, but we are police officers. We're not in the business of assuming anybody's feeling. So I reiterate, a report will need to be made. And certainly there appears to be some nuance about such a circumstance, but I will leave it at that.
Tour guide Sydney Perifeet, who has been on remand since October 2025, for the murder of Kenneth Flowers, better known as Big Tom, returned to court today and received partial disclosure in the case against him. Perifeet, who remains unrepresented, appeared before the Chief Magistrate in Court Number 1 this morning, where prosecutors handed over approximately 90 pages of disclosure materials. However, the prosecution informed the court that additional evidence remains outstanding, including photographs and accompanying witness statements. Prosecutors indicated that those materials are expected to be ready by Perifeet's next court appearance. During the proceedings, Perifeet questioned whether he would also be provided with a DVD, claiming police had told him the fatal shooting was captured on video. The prosecutor responded that there is no DVD evidence in the case file. Perifeet is accused of the October 6, 2025 shooting death of Flowers on City Street in Belize City. He was formally arraigned 2 days later on October 8th and has remained on remand since then. He is scheduled to return to court number 1 on July 20th, 2026, when the prosecution is expected to provide the remaining disclosure materials. Social Security Board branches across the country are celebrating 45 years of service today. Over the past 4.5 decades, the institution has grown from operating with just 28 employees from a rented office space in Belmopan to becoming a nationwide organization with more than 300 employees and branch offices across the country. SSB has also expanded its services through modernization initiatives, including the development of the MySS portal and the SSB app. Today in Belmopan, Social Security Board headquarters hosted an open day fair where visitors were invited to explore interactive stations centered around the institution's 4 priority areas: good governance, scheme modernization, operational excellence, and fund sustainability. Communications and Public Relations Manager Vanessa Veos told us more.
We have great things happening here today at the Social Security Board. Today, June 1st, marks 45 years since the Social Security Board became a formal legal organization in 1981. So this is our 45th anniversary. And so here at the Belmopan branch, and of course across the country, you can come and visit with us, and you will be taken on a journey to understand where we are going for the Social Security Board for many generations to come. So when the people come today, they'll be taken on that journey to understand the importance of good governance that would increase their trust and their confidence in the Social Security Board as we manage the scheme to ensure that the fund is, or the scheme is, sustainable for the long run. And that's a very important station for you to visit when you come to the Social Security Board, because you might feel that you cannot fully trust the Social Security Board, but I want to encourage you that you can, because we are strategically led, and transparency, accountability, integrity are values that we lead with here at the Social Security Board. The second station deals with scheme modernization, and as you know, we have our MySS portal, Social Security Board at your fingertips. So at that station, you learn more about how have we been modernizing here at the Social Security Board. Well, you know that today you can file your sickness benefit claim online, you can set up registrations online, you can check your contribution history and also print it online. So it's basically what have we been doing to modernize. And if you don't have a portal account, we encourage you to create your portal account, and we facilitate that, especially on this day. But every day we do facilitate portal sign-ups. And the third station is operational excellence. Everybody wants a good customer experience when they come to the SSB. That is our standard. And so at every single branch you will learn what are our customer experience standards that you can expect from our team across the country. And the last one is the one that is fund sustainability. That one is also very important. There's a retirement corner that when you come in, you might be young, you might be old, you still have to have that conversation about retirement. So that's where you can get all the information that you want. You can also apply or file a retirement benefit claim online as well. So you get to learn also how your contributions into the scheme, how it is managed, how it pays the benefits, what is left over, a percentage of that goes into investments, and investment income plus contribution revenue is what kind of makes up the scheme. And it all goes right back to where you would begin, which would be good governance.
Veos also explained the significance of this year's theme, Securing Today, Sustaining Tomorrow, and shared upcoming activities the public can look forward to in the months ahead.
The message that we're trying to send with that is that we're doing the right things today to ensure that in the long run, when you need to claim your pension benefit, that the scheme has the money to pay you your pension benefit. So if we're doing the right things in the now, in the present, in the way that we lead, in the decisions that we make concerning the fund, in modernizing the act, all of those things play a role so that at the end of the day, we can have a sustainable social security scheme that I can claim for pension, you can claim for pension, your children's children can claim for their pension. So when it comes to social security, you can't just do like a one-off strategy and that's it. You have to continually manage the fund in a fiscally responsible manner so that the scheme is around for many, many, many generations to come. So that's really the gist of the theme, Securing Today, Sustainability Tomorrow. Besides the branches and what they're doing today, we do have very important flagship events coming up in the month of August. We have our scholarship program. Our target is to give out 100 scholarships this year between high school and the associate degree programs. We will have our scholarship award ceremony in the month of August. I believe it's the first Friday in August, August 7th, if I'm not mistaken. And it's the 25th anniversary of the scholarship program that started in 2001, and there have been over 1,000 students who have benefited from this scholarship program. So we have the 25th anniversary for our scholarship program, and then of course we have our SSB Connect, which is like a forum where you come and we share with you what we have done in the previous year and what you can expect moving forward. So we do share highlights from our financials and the interesting things that we have achieved and where we are going. And that's also in the month of August. And then before we round out our entire year, there's a second round of consultations coming up, and that will be in the month of October. And we are anticipating that we can wrap that up by the end of November, right? And so there are going to be more proposals that we will put forward, and we'll be going across the country once again to share what these proposals are and to get feedback from the general public. So never a dull day at the Social Security Board. There's always something that we are working on, and all of our departments work together towards that one goal of that dynamic, progressive and sustainable social security system.
We will be taking our last break for the evening and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Some hands do more than carry. They prepare, they fix, they comfort. They keep a home moving in ways few people notice. And even when the day is done, they are still thinking of home. For the months of May and June, we celebrate the hands that hold the home together, offering you 25% off on tiles, lights, fans, ACs, gardening supplies, and more, both in-store and online. Thank you, moms and dads, from Builders Hardware.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower beliefs.
The biggest tournament requires the ultimate streaming experience with NextGen TV. Win with NextGen. Pay your bill or sign up for a NextGen bundle plan for a chance to win a 43, 55, or up to 65-inch smart TV bundle, a brand new soundbar, and many more prizes. Get ready to witness football history being made with NextGen. Not a NextGen TV subscriber yet? Contact us to subscribe today. NextGen TV, your stadium at home.
Cyber Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Charbroil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
Keeping animals and residents in Bamapan safe has become increasingly important as stray animals continue to roam across the city. One young resident, however, is taking matters into her own hands to help animals in need. Journalist Jemiah Bennett has this story.
Stray cats and dogs have become a common sight across Bamapan, from roaming neighborhoods and parks to gathering near businesses and residential areas. For many strays, life on the streets means facing hunger, illness, and injuries, often with very few places to turn for care. Since 2015, 22-year-old animal rescuer Kathleen Cabanas has devoted her time to rescuing stray cats and dogs by providing food, medical care, and shelter, largely out of her own pocket. She says she spends nearly $2,000 each month to care for the animals she takes in.
What I do is I rescue cats, or I receive cats that other people have rescued that have been neglected in the streets, abandoned, as well as dogs that have been abandoned in the streets. Currently, we are caring for 54 cats and 17 dogs and 8 puppies. Some of our daily expenses are food for these animals, wood shavings for the cats, water. The dogs don't have plumbing where they're at, so we need to transport water for them every time in Valley of Peace. And also medication, vet costs. It adds up a lot. I have to buy food for the cats every 4 days, a sack of cat food. So it does add up very quickly. It's very expensive, but we do our best to provide them with the food that they need. And we also receive donations from our very lovely community of animal lovers, so that is always such a blessing to help us with this labor that we are doing.
Now, through donations and community support, Cabanas hopes to expand those efforts even further with plans to establish a cat and dog sanctuary.
The cat and dog sanctuary that we want to build I did some estimates, and between the cat sanctuary and a bigger dog enclosure, everything comes up to about 80,000 Belize dollars. So far, we have raised about $800. It will be located in Valley of Peace. It's a large area of land. The animals will have fresh air, a lot of space. And the way we want to go about this project is to do some fundraisers, to reach out to businesses and franchises to ask for donations in any capacity, support in any capacity, and even outside of Belize, you know, to promote this, in that if there's anyone outside of Belize that would like to donate as well, that they're very welcome to do so. We are very determined to make this happen. We just need a head start to start with the foundation, and then we'll move from there as donations start to come in some more. At the moment, we are unfortunately not taking volunteers as we don't have a proper facility as yet, but we do accept the help in form of donations, whether that is financial donations for the construction project, whether that is dropping off food here at our location. If you want to drop off cat food or neck and back for the dogs, or dog chow, cat chow, whatever it is, you can always reach out via the Facebook pages, reach out to me, and I would provide you with the address so that you can support us. We also are always in need of transportation to Valley of Peace to go and feed the dogs over there. So if you have a car and you're able to donate a few hours of your time and transport us to Valley of Peace, we would really appreciate that as well. If you would like to contact us, you can reach us via the number 608-4630 if you have any questions, or if you would like to support us in any way. We're also on social media.
She adds that the most rewarding part of her work is seeing animals recover, regain their health, and experience the quality of life they deserve.
The most rewarding part is always seeing them recover from whatever trauma they have had, seeing them come back to their happy selves, their comfortable self after being in such a traumatic environment, seeing them put on weight and heal from all of their wounds. That is the most rewarding part, and it's always a very happy day for me when I'm able to hand over these animals to their adopters, to their forever home. It really all comes full circle, and it is exactly the reason why we do what we do. I highly encourage you to please have compassion for the animals that are around here. They did not choose this life. Some of them haven't had a meal in many days. So do whatever you can, if that's giving a meal to a stray animal, putting some water, or if that is adopting an animal or two, or donating to a local rescue, volunteering with a local rescue. Everyone can play a part. You don't have to rescue 50 animals to be making an impact. You can make an impact exactly where you are, in your home, with your neighbors, and always show compassion to these animals. These are God's creation, and we should be the voice that they need.
While some residents acknowledge the growing number of strays, Cabañas is encouraging the community to think about the circumstances and actions that put many of them there.
The reason why we started this was because we saw this great need in our community. It only ever starts with one cat or one dog, and then from there it just expands into something much, much bigger, right? We've never had the heart to say no, so we just kept accepting these animals and finding space for them in our home and doing the best that we could to provide them with the health care that they need, the proper nutrition, the rehabilitation, and also we provide adoption services. So our goal is always to find a permanent home for these cats and for these dogs, so that they can have the life that they have always deserved. We do this out of the love of our hearts for these animals, and we try to inspire others as well with what we do. A lot of people sometimes, after a few years of having their pets, that maybe they need to move, some kind of life change, and they leave their animals in the streets. Then therefore these animals end up reproducing on the streets. They're not spayed, they're not neutered, and those animals that are born keep reproducing, and it is this cruel, endless cycle of stray cats and stray dogs that are in need of homes, and they do not get these homes. So spaying and neutering is one of the main things that would help to reduce this and help us to combat this problem in our community. Everyone can play a role It can even start in your own home with your pets. How are you taking care of your pets? Are you keeping them in a safe place? Do they have shade, food, water? Do they have the exercise that they need? Are your pets spayed and neutered? Start at your home and then offer help to those around you. Spay and neuter your neighbor's pets, your family's pets, those animals that are on the streets. There's also feral cats. You can trap them, spay them, release them back. You know, there's so many things that as a community we can do.
Reporting for Plus News, I am Jemiah Bennett.
And that is the news. Thank you for joining all of us here at Plus TV. Good night and God bless. My name is Nevia Ramos.